Good morning, my recovery friend. Welcome aboard. We are going to be doing Rooted in God's Love this morning. If you're here for the first time and you're working on getting clean and sober, welcome aboard. All you long timers, welcome aboard. Let's keep on going. We're actually going to a new section called Living with Limits. All right. So, if you were like me and you tried to live without limits, and you found that actually your body does have limitations, and we do have lots of other types of limitations, but we don't know them until we meet them or feel them, and sometimes it's very uncomfortable. Well, this is the right section for us. All right, this one's just a meditation, and it goes into the meditation proper in the next page. But it says, when our bedtime was 8 o'clock, we wanted to stay up until 9. When it was moved to 9, we begged to stay up until 10. Not much has changed. We still dislike limits, and when we experience limits as adults, we still make the same kinds of speeches that 5-year-olds make about bedtime. It's not fair. I need to stay up because I have important things to do. Other people get to stay up later than I do. I'm not really tired anyways, and I promise not to be grouchy tomorrow. We have a fear of missing out. But limits cannot be avoided. We may want to be able to function without rest or relaxation, but when we insist on not being limited, we get sick. We push past our limits at the expense of our physical, emotional, and spiritual health. There is a fundamental spiritual struggle at work here. Our dislike for limits is at heart the struggle for a creature who wants to be the creator. At the heart of recovery, for many of us, is the struggle to acknowledge our creatureliness. Creatures have limits. Creatures are finite. Creatures get tired. Creatures cannot care for everything. Accepting the limits which are appropriate to a creature is for many of us an important step towards accepting God as our creator. One of the main points of a very famous book on recovery was titled Not God. That one of the biggest points of recovery from alcohol, drug addiction, from any kinds of substance use disorders is you're not God. Okay? The disciplines of recovery involve learning practical ways to identify and respond to our limits. It may be enormously helpful in the process to know that God accepts our limits even when we do not. The creature cares for his creation, the creator cares for his creation. God does not shame us for our limits. They are part of God's design. May God grant me the courage today to face our limits without shame. Yeah, it's important to face the limits of our bank account so we don't spend a bunch of money on credit cards that we don't have. It's important to remember that we need sleep. It's important to remember that we only have that much time and energy to give, to ourselves, but to other people. And we only have so much time to give to other people as well. The time is very precious. It starts to become more and more precious as we get older as well. Now, living within limits is something that we have to learn. When you're young, if you're getting into recovery when you're much younger, in late teenagers or 20s, which I know that there are some people out there that that do start getting clean and sober around that time. I got clean and sober at 22 years old. So I know that people do get clean and sober young. It's important to see what your limits are and see how far you could go, because we actually can do more than we actually think. We could actually set limits on ourselves, which aren't even which keep us from doing amazing things that we never thought we could do. So there are some times we should see what our boundaries are and test our limits, but there are other times when we need to face those limits and accept them, accept life on life's terms, accept who we are. All right, we're gonna call it a day for today. On that one, I'm not gonna do the other one. Let's do the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, living one day at a time, enjoying one moment at a time, accepting hardship as a pathway to peace, taking, as Jesus did, this sinful world as it is, not as I would have it, trusting that you will make all things right if I surrender to your will, that I may be reasonably happy in this life and supremely happy with you forever in the next. Amen. In Jesus' holy name, amen. We'll call it a day, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Don't leave before the miracle happens. See you guys.